What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Live with Brandon Blakeney podcast. Of course, I'm your host, Brandon Blakeney, aka Brandon Lee TV. Know I got another banger for y'all, so kick back, relax, and come take a ride with me.
You are now locked into the Live with Brandon Blakeney podcast. Here is your host, Brandon Blakeney.
Now, a lot of y'all were on the last video commenting saying that you wanted to see a change within the starting lineup of the Gamecocks and some other adjustments you guys expressed. Dawn Staley has heard the criticism, she's heard the outside noise, and just said, basically, they ain't changing nothing.
I think they feel that we haven't gotten off to some great starts, and we're not gonna change. We're gonna get better as far as starting better. I think when we get ball reversals, we're a much more efficient basketball team. So we brought that to their attention. When we don't get ball reversals, it's a drastic shift in our efficiency. So we got to incorporate a little bit more of that, and we got to open the floor up a little bit for them to have some room to operate.
I take that to mean the lineup changes.
No, not at all.
I personally think this is a mistake, man. There are several moves, several improvements that could be made. And I'm not here to question Dawn Staley or her pedigree. And I trust that she's going to do whatever it takes to get this team to reach its full potential. She has proven herself, and I'm not here to question her in this video. But I do feel like some changes need to be made. First off, in the starting lineup, these slow starts have killed them. We saw it against UCLA where they dug themselves into a hole and couldn't get out of it. This offense needs more spark. They need more firepower. They've lacked a true scoring threat so far in the last couple of games. I'll say really last game. The offense was stagnant. There was not motion. There was not rhythm. And there weren't shots that were really being made. And they ended up getting embarrassed, getting spanked, and saw their 43-game win streak snapped. Now, first off, I think they definitely need to insert Tessa Johnson as well as Maddie McDaniel and Ashlyn Watkins in the starting lineup. Raven Johnson has been a pillar on this team. She's waited her time. She deserves the minutes that she's getting. But, however, she has not delivered. She's just not offering any type of offensive upside. The assists are down this year. The rebounds are up. The defense has been there. But she is literally a zero on offense, basically. Like, she's not really offering much upside scoring the basketball. She's not a scoring threat. And we know that's not Raven's game. It hasn't been. And this isn't to attack her in any means. But when you're averaging 2 points and 4 points instead of 8 and 10, it's a detriment to the team, especially when you got Maddie McDaniel averaging more assists, being way more aggressive on offense, attacking the basket. She got to the cup at will. If she finishes all those layups that she smoked in that game against UCLA, she's in double figures. She's led this team in assists multiple times. She's leading the team in assists right now. She's continued to just play better basketball than Raven. She doesn't turn the basketball over, something that Malaysia Fulwiley has suffered with, has struggled with. Mighty Mouse has absolutely become a spark plug for this team anytime she's on the court. She runs the show, and even Dawn, I played the clip for y'all in my last video, talked about how she would be getting more minutes. She definitely has come along very quick, and she looks like the best true point guard on this roster right now as we speak. It's about what have you done for me lately. Speaking of lately, man, Tessa Johnson has been lighting it up lately. She's the best three-point shooter on this team. UCLA packed the lane and turned South Carolina into a shooting team, and I think that's what we will see more teams attempt to do and replicate the strategy that UCLA did. You make shots, you rebound, and you force South Carolina into a bunch of jump shots, and you can beat them if you limit transition and paint points. Tessa Johnson opens everything up for these slashers. She opens up the lane, she takes pressure off the bigs, and she spreads the floor. Not only is she the best three-point shooter on this team, she has performed in every big game game she's ever played in. When it counted the most, Tessa Johnson has showed up. She's one of the best on-ball defenders on this team. Super versatile, great size, great tenacity, great energy, great motor, non-stop motor. Just makes winning plays. She's the perfect glue player to be inserted in this lineup. No disrespect to Breezy Hall, but the three-point shooting has not been there. Not only is Tessa light years ahead of shooting the basketball, she's a way better shooter at this time, but you're not losing anything on defense either, man. It's time for Tessa Johnson to get her due and be inserted in this starting lineup. Without her and Tahina Powell, this team gets absolutely dragged by UCLA, like embarrassment, kill mode. Tessa Johnson was one of the reasons why this game was close at certain points. She has proven that she's the best shooter on this team. She, helped carry this squad to a national championship throughout the NCAA tournament. She's earned her stripes, and I think she's definitely needing to be inserted in that starting lineup. They need some new blood. They need some new energy. They need a spark. Switching it up, adding McDaniel, adding Tessa Johnson, and then also from a defensive standpoint, Sanaya Fagan is not Ashlyn Watkins. She's way too passive on offense. She's not a starting caliber 5 on an SEC championship team, in my opinion. Ashlyn Watkins proved to you last year that she was ready to be the one when Camila Cardoso went out. She was averaging a double-double every game that Camila missed last season. The offense has continued to progress. The charges have been dropped. She's been implemented. It's been a few games. She looks ready to take on a bigger role. We expected her to be one of the anchors of this team. She's by far the best defensive big. She has the capability of blocking any shot, leading the nation in blocks, the athletic ability. They can play fast. Majority of the bigs in the nation cannot keep up with Ashlyn Watkins, and they should have ran Lauren Betts off the court. They should have just ran, wore that team down with their depth. And the bigs, man, they absolutely should have let Ashlyn Watkins really run wild up and down that court, because she's just ready to catch and finish, great hands, and she's one of the most athletic players in the country. The way that she impacts the game on both ends, rebounding, blocking shots, bothering shots, being able to switch on guards when they run pick and roll. Like, Ashlyn Watkins is too valuable on this team to not be playing more minutes. Speaking of more minutes, we didn't really see Malaysia Fulwiley barely at all. She's been one of the top players. Her, Tahina Powell, and Chloe Kitts have been the 3 best players on this team. She's 3rd in scoring right now. There's no way that you can keep her off the court. She is one of the most electrifying guards in the country with the basketball. Dawn Staley herself has called Malaysia Fulwiley a generational talent. But she kind of spoke about Malaysia trusting the process and not listening to that outside noise of her, should she transfer? Should she stay? Should she go?
People go crazy. It's Malaysia's process. It's her process. Everybody has a process. Everybody wants to say, maybe transfer. Everybody wants to say, well, what? We trust over here. We trust our process. And, our process is sometimes painful. Our process is sometimes great. Also, our process sometimes, the greatness camouflages what you really need to work on. That's with everybody. Malaysia and I are good. It's the other people that have some issues with what's going on here. Our house is tight.
Lastly, Chloe Kitts has absolutely been the number 1 scoring option for this team. This offense needs to be run through her. She is the most skilled and complete and polished offensive threat that this team has. She can score from anywhere on the floor. She needs to be getting a lot more touches. The offense should be focused on her making plays and scoring the basketball. Now, with Tessa in the lineup, with McDaniel in the lineup, 2 3-point shooting guards that can open up the floor, that allows the defense not to pack the lane and gives Chloe Kitts more room to operate. That paint was so packed, she had no room to maneuver against UCLA. I think she should have been more aggressive taking the mid-range. She's got to hunt for her shot more and be that alpha and demand the ball. I want to see more of that out of her, but there's no reason that she should not be getting 10 shots a game. There's no reason. The mid-range is given to them. They got to take what the defense gives, but they got to put some shooters on the floor to open this floor up, to open the lane up so teams can't just camp down low and out-rebound them. Chloe Kitts is going to be the straw that stirs this drink that is South Carolina. she has to be the focal point of the offense. She's shown you what she's, the ability averaging a double-double, leading the team in rebounding and scoring. She has taken that next step. She put the work in the offseason. She's waited her turn multiple years. She's come off the bench. She started. And now this is definitely her team. I know South Carolina prides itself on it being anybody's night in the depth and, having a lot of mouths to feed. But Chloe Kitts needs to be fed. She needs to get the big piece of chicken. She needs to be getting shots, and she needs to get going early. They need to make it an emphasis to feed her the basketball. Those are just some suggestions I have. Maybe them going smaller, playing faster, using those athletic bigs to really get up and down the floor and, just continue to push that transition offense, get out in space and run. They got their depth. Most teams are not going to be able to put out 2 starting fives like South Carolina has. They got to continue to just wear teams down. This team will be fine, though. They're still figuring out their identity, and that's okay. It's still very early in the season. They will get it together. I don't think anybody is going to feel sorry for them or needs to count them out at this point. But these are just some suggestions that I have that I think could improve what we've seen, the product on the court after these, slow starts the last few games. But y'all let me know how y'all feel in the comments. Talk to me. That's a wrap for us. If this is your first time, make sure to hit that subscribe button, comment, like, share. Follow us on social media at Brandon Lee TV to stay up with the latest and the greatest. That's a wrap for us. Until next time, we out.